First and foremost, we want dialogue, conversations, both inside our community and as well as outside of our communities. We want to have it with other communities. And we want to have those difficult conversations. I know that's not very Anglified, but I want to talk about those taboo conversations. I want to talk about them in a healthy and constructive way. I want to hold space for that. So that's first and foremost, holding space for conversations. That could come across in many different forms. That could be come across in journalism, legal journalism, podcast conversations, interfaith dialogue conversations, and it might also correspond to our next bit of cultural sharing in different culture, coming round for a Friday night meal, going to an iftar, spending a spiritual day with the Sikh community, or joining on to the Chinese New Year, which I believe we've got the dragon this year. So it's about learning of the other, but having conversations, sharing in our similarities, and actually learning that our differences aren't actually differences. They're just entrenched positions that we've created over time by a polarised society. That is our first bit, so that expressing ourselves using verbal communications in all forms. The cultural sharing comes on to the next one, which is creative sharing. Those type of workshops would consist of creative content, of sharing what's important to us in regards to the injustices and inequalities we see in our life and society. Challenges, like you mentioned, of mental health, challenges of welfare challenges, domestic components, aspects of the law or components of not having access to the law, and those type of topics, and finding ways to put that in creative ways for either social media or art or music. And last but not least, is very much looking at professional development, empowering individuals to express themselves, that they can actually sustain themselves and become autonomous and independent individuals. And that would be across the board. Organisations-wise, we like to work with places of worship, different community centres, higher educational institutions in general, and any organisation or charity that promotes the things we're working on. As long as we've got the shared ethos, whether it be an interfaith charity for the interfaith conversations, or whether it be accessible charity or a mental health charity dealing with the other challenges. And we want to work with legal charities, whether it be Citizens Advice Bureau or other components. We'd love to get them on board, because Creative Ways is widening participation. It's not just about me knocking on a door saying include us. It's about knocking on the doors of the participants who want to be included and say this is the way you can be included. And I think it works both ways. It's from the up and down to up.